Welcome back.
It's been
a long time.
Too long. I almost feel like it was like last year or something. A whole year or something.
Haven't seen you since last year.
What year is it now? 2026?
Dude, that sounds like a made up year.
I know, I can't stand it.
I swear to you, I remember in like grade school when we'd have to do those like, if something cost this much money in 1995, how much, and this cost this much in 2005, what would it cost in 2020? Like, if 2025 seemed like,
yeah, like it's never, ever gonna come.
That's not gonna be a year. And then now it's 2026.
I keep thinking about that. I'm like, I recently just found out that this song was a cover, but the year 3000, the Jonas Brothers apparently was a cover.
I didn't know that either.
Like, they gypped us. They duped Americans so good.
100%.
All the British people are like, you idiots. But, like, I just recently found out that was a cover. And when that song came out, I was like, 3000, what's that?
Right.
And I know we still have a while before 3000, but I'm just saying that sounds less and less sketchy the further into 2000 and we get.
Right.
You're like, what the heck?
That's crazy.
You're starting to be like those people, like, what was it? Isn't like Space Odyssey like 2000 or something?
I think so.
Like, those people are like, that's never going to come.
Yeah.
And you're it's crazy. Time really does fly.
That's funny. Funny. Especially because a lot of the, like, our earlier episodes where we talked about the Veggie Tales episodes and like those came out in like 95 and 97 and things like that.
Yeah, I've officially been out of high school for 20 years.
Yeah.
Last year. And I was like, that's just stupid. That's crazy. And like most of these Veggie Tales are like 30 something years old.
I know.
Like,
it's
that's
crazy.
Full grown people.
Yeah.
Full grown people.
The most not kids anymore.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. You're like, it's not even like, oh, that's a toddler. Nope. That's an adult who might even have their own kids.
We have kids in our youth group. And I'll be like, hey, when were you born? And they'll be like, 2012, 2015. And I'm like, go to the nursery. What are you doing here right now?
What is happening?
Exactly. I'm like, stop. There's no way you could be. No one was born in 2016. I don't think, like, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. And so, like, that 2016 trend's going on, whoever started that. And they're like, oh, I guess we're posting from 2006. Do you know what I was doing in 2016? I was having my middle kid. Like, I was still a full grown adult.
Yeah.
Like, that's
crazy.
not even that long ago.
Gosh, I know. And then there's full on, like, teenagers walking around being like, I was born in 2015. I was born in 2014. No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Go back to the nursery.
Yeah, Aaron will turn 10 this year, obviously. I mean, so you're like,
that's insane.
What the heck?
That's actually insane.
You've got like 2 years and you can be in the youth group? No.
Not
you.
No.
It's so crazy.
So anyway, we thought we would talk about some New Year's stuff and what the Bible says about New Year's and what we think about New Year's resolutions and things like that. Yeah, I was like, I wrote down on here, New Year, new me, or is it? Oh, maybe that's what we'll title this episode.
Because you kind of always do. I feel like it is a blessing. It is a blessing to be able to like stay up on New Year's, you stay up on New Year's Eve and you count down until midnight and you're like, woohoo, new year, new me, But at the same time, you get to like January the 10th and you're like, nah.
Right. Let me tell you a funny. So we, on New Year's Eve, we had this plan where the kids were going to go to bed. And then after the kids went to bed, we were going to like watch The Mentalist or like rewatch some show or whatever until it was time. And then we bought like the whole sparkling grape juice or whatever. And bought some like little glasses or whatever. And so put the kids to bed. And then I had poured the sparkling grape juice in these glasses, had them ready, and we got some snacks and had the TV set up. And then our oldest, he comes in our bedroom at like half an hour till midnight or whatever. And he just like peeks in, and so he like sees we have this sparkling grape juice and these cups he's never seen before.
Yeah, he's like, ooh.
And like we're snacking on like whales and crap. And so he just comes in there and starts snacking on these whales with us or whatever. And he's like, "Can I have some of that sparkling grape juice?" And I was like, "If you promise to go to bed." And so then I give him a drink. So then Leandri takes him back, go lays him down, and she comes in there. It's literally like 5 till like midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was so funny.
Yeah, we actually had church, which I have not done in a really long time.
Right.
If I'm at church on New Year's Eve, it's usually for a lock-in. It's
Right,
not like
right.
for actual church.
Right.
And so it was really weird because we were like, we're going to have to keep these kids awake. Maybe we should put Amy to bed first and like all this. And then we were like, church went until like 8.
Right.
And we're like, well, there was half the evening.
Uh-huh.
So we just put on a movie. Honestly, don't remember. I think it was like Bill and Ted or something. I don't remember, but we put on a movie. We had the sparkling grape juice and all that, but we basically watched the movie. I was like, oh, maybe we can play Monopoly, or oh, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the movie. We ate a couple of snacks, and then we were like I think the movie was over, and it was like 2 minutes, and so we all went into the kitchen, poured our grape juices, like clink, clink, clink. It was like, Happy New Year, now go to bed.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it was so funny. It was like, I don't know. It was like you build it up.
Right.
You build it up in your head. Like, I got to do something.
Right.
And then it ends up being kind of minus, like, I mean, I guess plus the sparkling grape juice. It's basically the same evening.
Right.
Like, it's like
right.
so funny.
Well, I think on that same, so how you were talking just a minute ago about like, you know, you start on January 1st and by January 10th or whatever, or the 16th or whatever, it almost, whatever goal you're trying to do almost kind of gets to the point of like, well, I've had 10 days of doing whatever, and maybe it's time for a cheat day, or maybe it's time for a, you know, like, maybe I just one day of not doing whatever I was striving to do or whatever. And I feel like whatever it is, whether it's a, you know, a spiritual goal or a physical goal or whatever it is, I feel like there comes a point, whether it's 10 days into the year or 16 days into the year, that it kind of just like, well, maybe I just do a regular day again or whatever. Yeah. And so I feel like, I wonder what it is that causes our brains to like, once we get, because I feel like obviously everybody does it because January 1st gyms are packed, and January 31st the same people that were at the gym last year in October are the only ones that are there still, you know? Yeah,
and I think it was John Christ was saying that there's like an unofficial national holiday on like the 17th or something, and it's because it's like that's when everybody quits.
Right.
And I when I heard him say that, I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of hope it's real. I hope that really is a real holiday, and I think we should celebrate it as a joke. Mm-hmm. Instead of like Valentine's Day, be like, good job, everyone. We suck at resolutions.
Yeah.
And it is. And that's, so I was saying that's kind of what I was saying to Adam last night. I was like, is it convictions? Is it resolutions? Like, are you sinning if you can't stick to a resolution? Right. Or are you just like falling off a trend? And because I was trying to find Bible verses, and and I asked about a couple, and he was like, I don't know about that one, maybe that one, you know. And I think it's like, what is it in our brains that we're like, well, we made it day 10. I guess that's fine or whatever. Like, it's crazy. And I know like science kind of says you have to do something for like 21 days, I think, to make it like a habit. But at the same time, I'm like, why? Okay, if that's true, why? Right. Like, why 21 days? Like, why can't we? Why do we need someone to tell us to start over every new year? Right. Like, what is it about that? And I just think it's kind of funny to think about, because it's like we don't do it on our birthdays. We don't do it on Christmas. Right. We don't do it on Easter. Yeah. We do it on the first day of the year. Like, that's going to change. Like you said, the same people who are in the gym are the same people who are in there in October. Right. Right. Like, and I know that everyone's like, well, duh, because they've got like discipline. But everyone's always telling you to become disciplined and to learn a discipline. Sure. So how? Like, what? Where's the switch? I almost wonder if it's just I was thinking about this last night. I wonder if it's almost because, like, say your goal is I want to work out or whatever. It's very easy to just go to a gym and work out. Yeah. If your goal is I want to
listen to better music or whatever. It's very easy to find better music and listen to that kind of music. So I almost wonder if it's just like these goals that we have, they're almost like, maybe too easy is not the right word, but it's like, rather than like, okay, I'm going to go do whatever, and you have to actually like make an effort to go and do something like way out of your normal pattern or whatever, rather than just like, oh, well, I'd rather like spend only 12 hours a week on Facebook instead of 15 hours a week on Facebook or whatever. Like that really doesn't take much discipline or anything.
It's almost like if it's actually attainable, your brain's like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because it's kind of like, you do kind of wonder. You're like, I mean, well, sorry. Okay, I kind of wonder sometimes if it is. It's like almost like that's why I was kind of wondering: is it a conviction versus a resolution? Like, what makes the difference? Is it because we're focusing? Is the focus on ourselves?
Right.
Are we focusing too much on ourselves? Well, we have to get ourselves to the gym. We have to stop looking at Facebook. Or is it that, no, God said to have to like our body as a temple.
Right.
God said what we put into our minds will control like the way we act or like whatever. Like maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's this whole time. The reason we make it to like January 10th is because we were doing it out of like our own pure stubborn will. Right. Instead of like actually basing these resolutions, if you will, off of conviction instead.
Well, I wrote that down. I wrote down about like, because a lot of times people will say like you hear people will ask questions like, what do you want to do this year? Or what do I want to do this year? And I don't necessarily think there's anything like inherently wrong with like, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to build muscle, or I want to, quit eating so much sweets, or I want to do whatever. Yeah. And I think those are fine, but I think the best question is more or less, rather than saying what do I want to do this year, it should be, what does God want to do through me this year? Yeah. Or how does God want to use me this year? And I feel like, not to say that makes the goal or the thing any easier, because like half the time God told people to do something in the Old Testament and they were like, what? Yeah. But it eventually, you look at like Noah or whatever, God said, hey, build an ark or whatever. And I'm sure it was very difficult to build this massive boat. Yeah, it
took like 100 years.
The most amount of years. And like that had to have been difficult. And there probably were days where Noah was like, I'll just.
Not today, man.
Maybe not today. But like, I think the fact that it was like, it came from God. God said, build this ark. That there was more of a, like, maybe desire to finish, or a desire to stay serve. On task or serve or whatever, rather than if Noah had just thought, it would be great if I built the biggest boat of all time.
Yeah, because then I heard this rain was coming. Yeah, maybe I should build a boat.
Right, because I feel like if it's on our own, like you said earlier, is like if the goal is almost too attainable. Not that building a massive boat is attainable, but like if the goal is too attainable, or if it's something that's like we think, oh well, this is just what I want to do, then we give ourselves leeway of like, well, like I said, no more sugar, but like this only has 10 grams of sugar, and 10's a lot better than 100 than what I used to, whatever.
Yeah, like and I think it does have something to do with that, because, like, I've been told I needed to get like a workout regimen and like lose some weight from after having my last kid. And, I'll do well for about 20, I have actually made it, I think, 3 or 4 weeks in a row while I was working out on these certain days. Right. But then I'll just stop. And it's like, and it's not because I don't want to, but it's like, well, I look around my house, like I'm doing like workout videos on my like phone or TV. And I look around my house and I'm like, I could work out, but also the kids have been complaining that they can't find any socks. So maybe I should do laundry. Right. Or like, I really need to stop eating this food, but that's all I think about now. So maybe if I eat it once a week, I won't need it anymore. And then once a week comes twice a week and like all that. And I think that's what it is. It's like I'm focusing solely on, I just like, I put all the pressure on myself. And then it's like, and so eventually, well, I'm like, I don't care anymore. If this is just for me, I don't care.
Right.
I'll do whatever they want for them. Like, and I tell people that all the time. It's even when I was a small kid, if it was for a team, because I have like this really deep inner fear of letting people down, like severe, like it's like almost paralyzing sometimes. I think if someone's mad at me, like I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how to react. And so I kind of wonder sometimes if that has something to do with it. Like if it's, I'm like, I always tell them, like, if I'm on a team, I will reach new heights. Like we were doing a workout challenge one time, and there was a day where we got like double points or triple points for stuff. And the people with the most points won like $50 or something.
Right.
And I was on a team that was pretty competitive, and they're like, are you sure you can do this? And I'm like, I won't let my team down. And I think I got like 800 points that day. And that included doing like 200 to 300. It was like 100, 200. It was like, I think it was like 1 to 200 push-ups, 1 to 200 sit-ups, 1 to 200 jumping jacks. And I know that's like sounds insane. If anyone's ever met me, they're like, no way you did that. But I was just doing them all day.
Right.
You do them like 10 here, 10 here, 10 here all day. And that would be, I was doing that literally every chance I got. I would do like my 10 push-ups, my 10 sit-ups, like my 10 jumping jacks, like go do chores, come back. And I did it all day until the deadline. The deadline was at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And at like 10 o'clock at night, I was doing like my last round.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, how many have you done today? Because it was like over 2 days, I think.
Yeah.
So like those 2 whole days, like combined, I had done like 200 to 300 of each thing. So I would do like my part of the math.
Right.
And I'm like, but I can't for myself turn on a workout video and dance to a song.
Right.
Like, and it's like, I think it's because if it's something greater than you, you will push through. And then if it rests solely on you.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's crazy how that would work.
I wrote something down like that, what you said earlier about like, I almost think sometimes we almost have too much stuff going on. Like, I think with our phones and just the way technology is, it's like we always could be doing something.
Yeah, it's like almost like too many options.
Right. And so like I feel like that hurts a lot of people because, you know, maybe the thing is, oh, I need to work out, but then it's like, or maybe your goal is, I need to read my Bible, but then you look around and you're like, oh, I haven't done laundry in like 2 days, or oh, I've really got to do some dishes, or I forgot I was needing to, you know, get the leaf blower out and blow all. I mean, like we have so much stuff going on, and then to take a step further, is maybe your goal is, okay, I'm finally going to just sit down and just do it. Well, then if you have your phone with you or whatever,
you switch to a different.
Like you go, oh, I forgot so and so said something on Facebook. I need to go check that real quick. And then, oh, well, let me switch over to Instagram, or, oh, I need to check, you know, whatever. And then, or like, oh, I need to check the weather app and see what the temperature is going to be like tomorrow, because I got to figure out what I'm going to wear tomorrow. And so I feel like there's almost, it's like, it's just too much stuff that we have going on that I think it makes it really difficult, and it requires more discipline when like, and then like how you said, like, if like, because I feel like I'm that way too, of like, if I'm in a group thing or whatever, I don't want to be the one person in the group that people are like, oh, well, if Matthew would have got off his rear end and done whatever, we could have finished this job or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've always been like if I'm ever like working on something, like if you're like working on a house or working on like building something or anything like that, I don't ever want to be the person that just like stands around and does nothing. And so I'll always be like, even if I can't help with like what the main task is, I'm always like, hey, what's the next task? And I'll go ahead and do it and get it ready for y'all whenever you get done with this. Like, that's just how my brain works or whatever. Too. And so like, for instance, when we were working on the church or whatever, and we were trying to rebuild it after the fire, there was like, we had to get to this point or whatever. But like, to get to that point, there was like all these little bitty teeny tiny things that had to be done before we could get to this end goal or whatever.
Yeah. And
so I would be like, okay, let me see how many of these little teeny tiny things I can do, because I can't maybe necessarily help with, you know, whatever. Yeah. But I know I can help with this, or maybe, hey, putting up this sheetrock's only a 2-person job, or, you know, whatever, or I'm the third person or stuff like that. Yeah. And so I feel like, honestly, we should probably try to act that way because like, I think, oh, I don't want to let, maybe it's not as much, I don't want to let these people down as like, I don't want to be I don't want to be like the distraction or anything like that. And so like, I feel like if we could turn our view of that to like, how much more on a greater scale should it be with like things that God wants us to do, of like, oh, well, I don't want to let God down. Oh, I don't want to be a distraction or be a hindrance or be something that is going to stop. I mean, obviously, like, it's not going to stop God's plan, and not that like, God already factored in that I'm lazy, and God already factored that I'm not the smartest person in the world or whatever. But I do think that kind of goes into like, how we should try to view things like that, especially on a spiritual level. Yeah,
I think, and some, some people are going to be like, y'all, it ain't that deep.
Right.
And to be fair, it kind of isn't.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, like, you get to the story of Daniel and he prayed those 21. I kind of wonder if that's where that number came from. But anyway.
Right.
He prays those 21 days and, and like for the angel, like for God to do something and all this. And they're always like, see, and he was there every day at the certain time. And he was praying like 3 times a day or like whatever. And you're like, he had a job to do. Like, he was a pretty high up official. Like, he had stuff going on.
Right.
How was he able to work all this around? Like, all these people seem to do only the thing that God told them to do. And yet they still have like jobs and stuff. So you're like, no, he's figured out a way to work it into his life.
Right.
Or he told them, I'm not leaving this spot. But, it's, and that's not what it doesn't indicate that. And so that's what I wonder sometimes. I used to be like, well, of course they were good at this. This was their job, was to follow Jesus. Or this was their job to be like a leader of the, but is it Nehemiah that helps, and Ezra that are kind of helping build, Nehemiah that helped build the temple. I mean, no, is it the city back? It's the city back. I
think it's the city.
The city wall back. Like he had to organize all these people, but he was technically like a prophet, like church guy, like, he had, but he was like, well, I guess we're going to build this wall or whatever.
Well, I think all like, is like, if you like, whatever,
you gotta switch your mindset.
Right. Like if you look at like a person in your life that whatever the thing is that they're good at, whether it's like, oh, this person like is really good at working out, or this person is really good at reading their Bible, or this person, I feel like those people, if you like look at their lives, they make, like, if laundry's on the, like, oh, I haven't done laundry in 2 days, their outlook is, oh, the laundry will be there after I get done reading my Bible.
Exactly.
Or if the thing is, oh, I've got to, run to Walmart and get dog food or whatever, but I also need to go work out. Like, oh, Walmart's still going to have dog food after I do this 30-minute workout. Like, I feel like that's how they have to have their brain work to get this, whatever it is, whether it's read your Bible, whether it's work out, whether it's a spiritual thing or physical, whatever. I feel like those kind of people are the kind of people that are going to be like, well, it's going to be there anyway, so I might as well do what I know needs to be done first and then do everything else,
Yeah, and I know in the world today, and would even be kind of like, that just sounds like you have ADD, kid. And I'm like, you know what? I probably do.
Probably.
But there's people who are, they're on the spectrum, they're neurodivergent, and they're leading companies.
Right.
And, and some people will say, well, it's just because they were kept busy and they were made to push through. But how?
Right.
Those parents still had to have the time and the money to put them into all the stuff.
Right.
They had to have the time. The parents then had to become the organization for their kid to learn how to be organized eventually enough to become a CEO. Like, there was still somebody who had the conviction, the resolution, whatever, the higher calling, if you will, to see what needed to be done and was actually able to pursue it.
Right.
And I think, and that's where it's kind of like, so are you being convicted and that's why do you make this resolution? Are resolutions the opposite of convictions? Or do they go with convictions? And then I even wrote down, do resolutions put too much focus on ourselves versus God? And what is our standard? How do we know if we're hearing from God or the world? Because it's like, is this about building like Are we, are we supposed to be telling everybody about our resolutions? Like, these are the questions in my head.
Right.
And so I think part of it is we do feel pressured to have some.
Right.
So we think, because like right now, like speaking of the 2016 trend, like one of the biggest trends of my lifetime is people saying, what's your word for the new year?
Mm-hmm.
What's your life verse or whatever?
Right. And
for the longest time, I was like, maybe God doesn't talk to me because I don't have one, or I would just start saying one because just by default, because I like heard it a lot from other people and didn't realize it. So like subliminally, I guess,
right.
I would just choose a word and then realize it was everybody else's word and be like, oops.
Right.
And so I've been thinking about that kind of stuff a lot lately because I have a lot of people in my life, they do choose a word and they really do try to stick to this word of whatever it is, and they'll make videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they'll text you like verses for it or whatever. And I'm always like, what's the standard? How do we know if we've reached this? And so this year I was like, this last year's had some crazy stuff going on in our family. And so, I'm like, am I being convicted or am I being petty? Am I confused? Like, is this a resolution? Like these kind of questions have been happening in my head. And so then I was just like, it kind of occurred to me, if God's just calling me to live well,
mm-hmm.
if I can live well in him, these other things will fix.
Right.
Like I can find out why my stomach problems have gotten worse instead of better, or I can figure out, I can be an example to show like some of the people in my life who aren't living a good life right now. Like, if I'm living well, then my kids will live well. Like, and I think that's kind of the calling, isn't it? Like, we're supposed to live well in Christ so we can be, the tool he like used, not because you have to be perfect to be used, but if you're not putting your focus on that, like you don't have a standard,
right?
Then you're not, like you said, you're just gonna be like, not today. I need to rest. I've got to rest all the time from nothing.
Right.
So I don't know. That's been a lot. I know that's kind of heavy, but I was like, that's kind of where my mind's been lately. Cause it's like, where does this even come from?
Well, I think that there's a lot of like, cause I feel that also. Like, I feel like, cause I'm a very like, I don't like it. I don't like confrontation at all. I hate it. It's my least favorite thing. I'm not saying that there's people that walk around just going, I love confrontation, but I really don't like confrontation. And so there's stuff that happens in family stuff. There's stuff that happens in work stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happens in church stuff where confrontation is like almost unavoidable. And I really don't like that. And so, but I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like how you had mentioned is like sometimes like we want to get to the end goal. And so we think, oh, well, I need my end goal is I want to lose 30 pounds, or my end goal is I want to memorize 30 verses or whatever. Yeah. And we kind of like, because of this like instant gratification world that we live in, I think that's another reason why resolutions don't work anymore, is because we get what we want too easy. You want to watch a funny video? Literally just look it up. Yeah. You want to know directions from here to Saudi Arabia? Look, like whatever. Like, it's so easy. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, one of the verses I wrote down was like when God said that like his word was a lamp unto our feet. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not a massive spotlight to show you from point A to when you die or whatever. It's when you have a lamp in your feet, it's like each step, trust Jesus with every single step or whatever. And like, even though you can't see the end, maybe you know what the end goal is, but you can't see how to get there. And I feel like another thing is like, so like, if say I put in my phone that I wanted to go to Oklahoma City or whatever. Well, if I'm driving and then there's construction on the road and I have to go a different way, my phone doesn't just say, hey, you're an idiot. Why did you turn there? Now you've ruined this whole thing or whatever. It just like reroutes it to wherever it needs to go. And I feel like God is really good about that, about like kind of how I mentioned earlier, like he already factored in our dumbness. He factored in our stupidity. He factored in our mess ups. He factored in like nothing that we do like makes him go, oh, well, now I got to rewrite the whole story. If you're, I guess if you have a resolution or something, like there's going to be days where you mess up. There's going to be days where I wasn't supposed to eat whatever and I ate a bunch of cookies, or I wasn't supposed to drink pop today and then I just had to have a Dr. Pepper, so I went and drank Dr. Pepper or whatever. And then it can be more serious things too, like, maybe your goal is I want to pray every day, and then you like win a day and you forgot to pray or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the biggest thing is like, especially if it is a resolution or a conviction or something that like this is going to help grow my relationship with Jesus. This is something that I know that he would want.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like you said, a relief to realize that like God's not like disappointed with you because you missed one day, or God's not upset that like he knew that it wasn't going to be like the easiest thing for you to do whatever you were going to do.
Yeah. And I think, it's kind of nice because you realize like a lot of times in the Bible, it talks about let tomorrow take care of itself and things like this. You start realizing the whole point was never, eternity is written on our hearts and it is within us to yearn for something. Mm-hmm. But, it was never intended for us to get all of the end results here in the here and now. It's always like, it's like now and then, like not yet. Like, yes, you need to be able to read your Bible, and yes, you need to be able to pray, and yes, you need to, don't be a glutton and don't be like lazy and doing all these things that can harm you and your, and your world that you are connected with. But at the same time, like these goals we're never going to be fully complete.
Right.
And it's not because they're not. It wasn't really because they were ever supposed to be fully attainable in the first place, I think.
Right.
And I think, so as you go into the new year and you think you've screwed up, that's why his mercies are new each day. Is so encouraging. He's a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path, because it's not, that says, I will hide his words in my heart. Like that's, is it that I might see God?
Yeah.
Right? I think it's how that goes. It's not because, it's because we're supposed to be able to just walk day by day, step by step, minute by minute, second by second into, out into what the world, like what the Lord has given us.
Right.
It's not, it didn't say, so that you may conquer the earth.
Sure.
It was like, so that you may see God, that you might see what he's up to.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's, I got, be transformed.
Yeah, I wrote that one down too.
Because everyone uses this verse all the time. But it's like, but this whole, but they always just do number 2. But if you do 1 and 2, it's Romans 12, 1 and 2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing, perfect will. And so it's like, I think I've got NIV right now, so that's not how it usually sounds in my head.
Right.
I got a new phone, and I just got a new Bible app, and I used to have it on ESV, but I think it was like on NIV. And so every once in a while I'll read a verse, and I was like, that's not what that says.
You know what my old person complaint is, since we're talking about how old we are?
Yeah.
I hate it when they update crap and they move stuff around. Like that's the most old person complaint I know. Yeah. But I hate it. I literally hate it so much.
It makes me feel dumb.
I know.
Like I swear I could work this app like 2 days ago.
I swear, like half the time the Facebook and Instagram board meetings go, hey, you know how everyone's comfortable and knows where all the buttons are? What if we move them around to where nobody knows where they're at. Anyway, sorry.
No, but this is how we live our life. It's like, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I woke up this morning and I saw something I disagree with, and I grumbled all morning until I got into the car to come here, because I was just like, and this is what I'm saying is, I think this is why resolutions, are they convictions or are they just something you make, are they trends, is actually, it can be deep, because it's like, I mean, at the same time, okay, do your sugar fast. But like, so there's a movie coming out this year. Christopher Nolan's doing The Odyssey, and Matt Damon's been out. He's the lead. He's playing Odysseus. He's been out doing the rounds for another show, but they just keep asking him about this other one that I didn't even realize this other show was coming out yet.
Right.
Which, who cares? Because it's, no offense, but it's on Netflix. I don't have it. So, like, I'm not going to be able to watch it anyway. But the thing is they just keep telling them. They're just like, how did you get this size? We hear you're back to the size you were in high school. How did you discipline yourself? And he was like, well, I talked to my doctor, and he said I had to give up caffeine. I had to give up sugar. I had to give up gluten. And I had to give up, I think there was one other thing he said. I can't remember. Maybe one other thing. For 90 days. He was like, so I did all that basically with no training. I just ate better. Because my doctor told me to. But the thing is he was like, but the thing was that really got me through was my wife did it with me. So when we'd be invited to like dinner parties, we could be like, oops, can't go.
Right.
And it didn't make me look rude. And I didn't feel like I was letting anyone down, because my wife was like, no, we both can't go.
Right.
Or we both can't eat this, do this, whatever. And he was like, and I found out I have a gluten intolerance. So now I feel even better than I did before. And I know, like, that's just so dumb. And but everyone is expecting him to be like, I hit the gym 20 times a day for 3 million hours. And it was so hard and grueling. Yeah. And he was like, I just ate better. And like, some people that anger them, because it's like, that's not even right. But it's like, no, it is. Like, Sometimes it really is just someone saying, have you tried? Oh, I think it might have been dairy. I think they gave up a little bit of dairy. But anyway, have you tried not doing this one thing?
Right.
Like, part of my problem with working out is the girl I follows on YouTube. So I get on YouTube to go watch one of her videos, and then I end up watching shorts for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and with like my Bible app, I've been trying to do the Bible project, but I'll go to get on there, I'll open my phone to click on it, and then the next thing I know, like, I'm on Facebook or whatever,
and you're
because
scrolling for an hour.
Yeah, I'm like doom scrolling, and I know a lot of people are like, "Geez, Randi, get it together," but I genuinely do forget what I'm doing in the middle of doing it. Like, that's just how my brain is. Again, people are probably like, "Get on some medication." But
well, I think it's everybody.
I do think people do that because we're just so bombarded with options.
Right.
But that, so that's what I'm saying is, like, we could live well, and we could change drastically.
Yeah.
By doing maybe one or two things. And the thing is he had a doctor who set it up for him and told him what to do. His wife was like, me too, let's go.
Yeah.
And he knows that. He knows he wouldn't have done it by himself.
Right.
And he knows the alternative of busting your hump in a gym for hours and hours and hours. He is not the same man he was when he did the Born trilogy.
Right.
Like, that would kill you. Like, I barely make it through, like, cardio workouts. And I'm like, God, man, I miss life where I didn't have to try so hard.
Yeah.
But I do think that's it, isn't it? Like, so I kind of think of it this way. Like, if God told you these things and you were like, and you just go, okay. And so then you go to church and you're like, God's told us all these things. All we got to do is this. And we're living well. Like, I feel like people would have a better lifestyle if we just understood yes, it is a lifestyle, but it's not half as hard as we think it is if we just all collectively go, okay.
Right.
And I mean that, Yeah, it's crazy.
One of the last verses I wrote down was in Habakkuk, which is a book of the Bible nobody ever reads. But basically, God's talking to Habakkuk, and he's telling him all this stuff that he's going to do. And God tells Habakkuk, he says, I'm going to do something in your days that you would not believe even if I told you. And I feel like sometimes whether it's we come up with our resolution on our own, or we like pray about it or something like that, like it gets to the January 10th or the January 16th or whatever, where it's like, what's the point of me doing this? Why am I doing this? And I feel like sometimes like stuff like that, we just have to get to the point where we be like,
it's not just for me.
It's not just for me. God's doing something that, like, I think even now in 2026, like there's stuff that happens that we're like, God, why is this happening? And I feel like he tells us that same thing is like, you wouldn't believe me even if I told you, like all the stuff that's going to, like, you know, like every 90s movie of time travel where they go back and change one thing, and then it's like, now your sister wasn't even born, and it's like, all I did was pick up that wrapper, or like whatever. And like, but I do feel like that is somewhat true. Is it's like there's so many things that like happen for a reason, and there's so many things that like building blocks that we think, oh, I wish this would have never happened, or I wish I could do it a different way, or I wish I could whatever. But like, it's just the fact that like God sees the whole picture. He sees the end result. We don't see the end result. And like, we just think, oh, well, maybe I don't know. I just feel like it's important to realize is like, you know, there's going to be something good on the other side of it. And like, even if it's hard, even if it's, you know, cause you know, like working out or trying to eat better or trying to read your Bible like every day or trying to read a whole Bible. And that's the reason why the whole, like, once you get to Leviticus, people quit or whatever. Is because it's not easy to read through Leviticus or read through and the temple was this many blocks high and this many cubits of gold. And you're just like, what is the point of knowing all that stuff or whatever? But I just feel like if we were to look at it from like heaven eyes, I guess, and like realize like there is a point to all of it. And
I do too. And it's like, and you know, I think one of the reasons why everyone freaks out over the new year is because when you say year, it sounds like a really long time. If you just said a new day, a new hour, like that seems like adjustable. And so I think part of it is they think, oh, new year, last year was dead and gone. This new year, I've got so much time to get this done. And it's like, so you like ease into it. Well, and it's like okay, I'm 38. I'll be 39 in April. I was saved when I was 17, and I still can't memorize verses for crap. But yeah, next year, that's my year. Like, no. You know, like, oh, new year, new me. No, like there's God.
You're still going to be the same
I'm going to be the same me no matter what. But it's like, what's the focus? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And like you say, like God's, like, even if he told us all that was going on, you know, we wouldn't believe it anyway. And so I do think it's kind of funny when you break it down, because you're like, why even try then? Why even care? But I will tell you right now, if I had the metabolism I had in high school, my kids would live off junk food. I would not have a single good for you thing to eat in my entire house. My husband still drinks 2 pops a day and somehow manages to be, quote, healthy, and I can't figure it out.
Yeah, he cheats. I don't know what he does.
It's so crazy. It's insane that he's able to do this. But at the same time, there'll be times that I'm like, I just want a burger. I cannot eat healthy at all today again. And he'll be like, nah, man, that stuff sounds nasty. Give me a salad. You know, so it's like, there's choices here and there that you make, and you're like, you know, who knows? Like, and I joke around. I'm like, you know, not that I actually mean this, but I joke around all the time because like our youngest one hits her head all the time. And I go, yeah, Jesus, I was like, God knew that with her attitude, she's either going to be a supervillain or a superhero. So he had to knock her down a few notches. Like, And people kind of look at you weird when you say that, but it's like
it's true.
It's true.
It's
like
true.
There's certain personality types. There's certain types of people. The Bible is cram full of weirdos,
Right.
And God used them anyway. But God said, "Wait, just be patient.
Right.
Wait and see." That's what all the prophecy was for. Was like, I can't do it all right now.
Right.
And even in the New Testament, where they're like, "Go send all, go tell my family, go tell my brothers what's here." And he was like, if they don't believe the prophets, then they're not going to believe.
Right.
A man could raise from the dead, they're not going to believe it.
Right.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like, God's given you the tools. I don't know if I got that one written down or not, but I was like, it says like, all scripture is spirit breathed, and it's like used for equipping. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got in 2 Timothy 3:14 through 17, but as for you, continue in what you have learned and have become convinced of, because you know those from whom you learned it, and how from infancy you have known the Holy Scriptures, which are able to make you wise for salvation through faith in Christ Jesus. All Scripture is God-breathed and useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. And I was like, you know what? I know we're talking about resolutions or convictions or whatever, but I was like, I think that works.
Yeah.
Like, God has given us all the tools we need.
Right.
So, maybe we don't do good at it today, but he knows that, but the tools didn't leave.
Right.
They're still there.
Yeah.
So if we can turn our focus towards him, and like, what are his tools? What did he equip us with? He knows I'm a scattered brain person.
Right.
He knows I'm not going to stick to. So buying a workout plan for tons of money is not going to work for me.
Right.
I have spent money on workout programs and then not did it.
Right.
Like, because that's not what's work for me. And he's not up there going, God, Randy, you're such a poor steward of your money and time.
Right.
He's thinking, okay, that wasn't you weren't being disciplined. Maybe next time, right? Like, he's like disciplining. It's not the same. But it is encouraging that each day's new.
Right.
It's encouraging that when he talks about guiding us and showing us what's coming, that it's not all at once.
Right.
Like, there's even in Revelation, he's like, seal this up because not everyone's going to know about it yet. Like, it's
right.
I think there's a reason, because now that we do have all this info, we can hardly function.
Right.
And I think he knew that. I think he knew our brains he didn't make us to handle that much.
Right.
At once, he wanted us to be reliant. So he wanted us to be like slow and steady wins the race,
Well, I think that's why, I honestly think that's why, if you look at if you hold your Bible in your hand, the Old Testament's like this thick and the New Testament's like this thick.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason is because, like, he wanted us to, like, extra realize, like, it doesn't matter how many laws you follow.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many, like, thousands of years of bring your sheep, goat, whatever to the temple and sacrifice. Like, it does not matter. Like, the law is not going to save you. The rules are not going to save you.
Yeah.
And also, you're not going to follow them, even if you do have the rules.
Yeah. That's why that's why the sacrifices are there.
Exactly. And
you were never going to get this.
Right. And so I feel like this should be comforting to realize, like, if these people who saw, these people who literally walked on dry land.
Yeah. They saw pillars of fire.
Got fed food every single day
from the
nothing.
Sky.
Yeah, the sky just literally was like, would you like some quail? Like, you do that, and then all of a sudden Moses is like, I'm going to go on this mountain real quick, and he's gone for a couple days, and they're like, we got to make everybody give me your gold right now so we can make a calf.
They needed something physical to worship, man.
Exactly.
And it's like,
that's one of my that's probably top 5 verses in the entire Bible.
Yes.
When Moses goes, like, basically Moses comes down and he's like, Aaron, what did you do?
Yeah.
And then Aaron's like, well, the people gave me this gold, and I took all their gold and put it by this fire, and out popped this cat. That's my favorite verse.
Every
of all
time you read it,
that's
you see
the worst
something.
excuse.
You see something new.
Yeah.
And you realize, and it gets dumber.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you see exactly what he was actually saying, and the dumber it gets. And you're like, God, if you love these people,
I know.
surely I can make it through today.
It is such. It brings so much peace reading through Exodus, because there's like one time where God's like, I'm done, Moses. I'm done with these people. And
These
Moses is
people
like,
are
wait, God,
stupid.
no. And then like a couple like months later, Moses is like, God, I'm
done with
this.
these people.
I'm done with these people. I'm not doing it anymore. And God's like, now Moses.
Yeah.
So
It's when you read the Old Testament is hard. I've only made it through the Bible one time when we did it with the youth guys, and we read it chronologically, and that was actually really loved doing that.
Yeah.
But I've literally that's the one time I've made it straight through, and I barely made that. I mean, we barely made that. And but I'll tell you, when you make yourself go and read that, you hear it in church a lot, but you kind of hear here and there. When you go back and really seek out some of these answers, you just gotta laugh. You're just like, I mean, if God's patient, when it comes to the fruit of the Spirit is like patience, long suffering, and goodness, and all this.
Right.
There's like 9 of them. You're like, yeah, I get it.
Right.
You see in the New Testament, I hate to say this because people are probably going to be like, oh, that's blasphemy, but yes, you do see true forgiveness through Christ on the cross. You do see that. Mm-hmm. But I don't think you really fully see the full effect of it until you pair that with the Old Testament.
Right.
And you realize that like the Godhead 3 in 1 had some great times watching these people down there being complete idiots, and really like it was like, we'll make man in our image and all that. And it's like, you kind of wonder some days where you're like, this is you, dude.
Right.
Like,
it's not me. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I don't, and some people are like, that's modalism. Well, we won't talk about that today. But like, you do kind of, sometimes you're like, oh my God. Are we sure we made these people in our image? Like, what is this?
Exactly.
But I don't know. It's just encouraging. And it's like, I won't read the whole thing, but I even saved them about eating the same, like the certain foods when Peter has that trance, or when he decides about like if he's going to eat with circumcised people or not, or whatever. Like there's certain convictions that God will give you that you need to stick by for you, and they may not be the same for someone else.
Right.
But the whole point is probably why he gave you that conviction in the first place is because he knew it was something that if you could rely on him with and live in his patience and long suffering with, then that would build up the body more. Right. Like Moses talks about not being a good, like he's not good at talking, and some say he might have had a stutter, and that's what he meant. And so Aaron had to go with him to talk. Well, Aaron's the one that ends up making the cow, and he's the one that grew up as a Hebrew his whole life.
Right.
Like, if anybody was going to go and make a cow, you'd think it'd be Moses.
Right.
And I'm just saying, and like, God knew, like, those doiling personalities would help build each other up. Like, is it the guy named Hur and Aaron that helped hold up Moses' arms or whatever?
Right.
Like, you have to have people around you. So Aaron builds this calf, and it is, like, a terrible idea.
Right.
But he knew, like, Moses had the withstanding to like come through it and help Aaron out of that. And but he also knew that when Moses needed it, then Aaron could come through and help him. And I think that's the whole point is, are we allowed to tell our convictions to people? Are we allowed to tell our resolutions to people? Should we be boasting all of this? And I would like to say, I don't think it's a boast. I think if like me, if I came up to you and was like, Matthew, hey, if you see, me carrying around a Dr. Pepper, would you remind me that I said I was only going to have one a week? And so then if I answer you, dude, this is my one a week, then you'd be like, oh, good for you. Right. Or I think that's okay. Like a one-on-one basis.
Yeah.
I think that's okay, because I feel like when we start doing them on Facebook and we start announcing them in bigger spaces, you're inviting too many other people and their convictions, and sometimes I think people just can't help but try to push their convictions on you. But so I do say it's okay to have a word. It's okay to tell a few people what that word is. You do want to have accountability, but there's a difference in the accountability for like an actual true conviction and like a trend. Right. Like if everybody's just not eating sugar and you eat sugar and someone gives you a hard time, or like you're not a vegan and you're around a lot of vegans and like, oh my God, I can't believe you eat meat. Like then you could be like, that's not
Right.
You cannot eat meat. That's fine. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people have to get in their mind. It's not about being perfect. It's about like living well in what God's like in the path he's having you walk.
Yeah. That's good. Good stuff. Every time we start a podcast, I'm always like, oh, this will probably be a short one.
No, it never is.
It never is. I always think, I don't know if we'll have much to say about that. And then we always turn it into something.
I always tell my husband, I'm like I really don't have a lot written down. I was like, I just need to have something that guides my focus. I could talk about anything for like 30 minutes. I was like, but is it going to make any sense? I have to write down stuff to control my focus.
Right.
Yeah. So if you ever needed a long-winded conversation or,
yeah,
to get you out of something or because you don't want to fall asleep driving down the road.
Yep.
You know me.
That's right.
If you know me, you have my number. Call me. I am the queen.
Or just turn on this podcast.
Turn on our podcast. Go to YouTube. Turn on our podcast because I am the queen of gab. Just give me the topic, and I will get it done.
All right. Well, we'll be back for another episode sometime.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. And maybe it won't be. We always say that. It won't be long this time, and then it's always long.
Nah.
There was like the most amount of holidays that happened in between the last podcast and this one.
Yes. Well, no.
So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Thanksgiving and Happy
Valentine's
Kwanzaa.
is coming up.
Yeah, if we don't
so
make it
happy
for
Valentine's Day. Yeah, and we keep saying, well, maybe our lives will slow down, and they don't, which is so perfect for this resolution.
Exactly. Maybe our resolution is we will do this many podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh well.
All right. Well, until next time. Bye.
Bye.